I got a feeling that it's gonna be a wonderful day.
It's all about good morning.
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 How you doing?
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the one, the only, the hot ravioli, El Presidente, Julian Nicholas. And I am here with my good friend Adrian. How are you doing, my friend? How are you?
I am doing good. I am doing well. We are here with the wonderful Mr. Nessie and
Dr. McKay.
Dr. McKay, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nessie.
You know, it's crazy because I thought we wasn't going to even have school today because today's Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I laughed at your email that you sent me yesterday asking if there was school today.
Okay, to be fair, I knew I had school tomorrow. It's just that my dad was wondering, all right? He was the one who asked and was like, son, you ain't got no school tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I do have school tomorrow. We don't celebrate Columbus Day. We don't. But,
My thoughts the other day were, it's 2022. Why is Columbus Day still a thing? We know so much.
Exactly.
Right? What
that's
are we doing?
It's also Indigenous Peoples' Day today.
Which is a more worthy
More worthy
day
than
and
Columbus
thing
Day.
to remember.
Yep.
Yes.
So I like to think that my children don't have school today because of Indigenous Peoples' Day.
Mm.
Nice.
There we go.
Speaking of things to remember, let's remember the weather.
We'll make it sweet. We'll make it short. Now here for you is the weather report.
Buenos dias, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently at 40 degrees, but do not worry. Do not fret. We'll be at a high of 69 degrees, and it will be partially cloudy up until 10 a.m. So do not worry, Mr. Nessie. You will still get your Mediterranean tan around 11, 12-ish, probably after school even.
I will not worry because I see it differently. It's partly sunny, not partly cloudy.
I mean, we kind of had this talk earlier. I mean, partially cloudy means that there's more clouds than sun, and partially sunny means there's more sun than clouds.
As a former earth science teacher, he is correct.
Ah!
I didn't
I got
claim to be
science.
right. I just have a different perspective.
I got science to back up my information. This is El Presidente coming at you with the weather report, baby. All right, let's just get into announcements.
All right, and there's only a couple here, so
Yeah.
go ahead, Adrian.
So the first announcement is the first debate club meeting is on Wednesday, the 12th, or in C room 207 at 2:40. Wait, at 2:45.
You need help?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Also, since it is October and many of our clubs and groups are starting up, if you go on the second floor near the administrative suite that's near C217, there's a bulletin board that says Zebra News, and there are flyers for all of the different clubs that exist here at the high school. And it's not even all the clubs, it's just all the clubs that submitted flyers. So check out that board and find out information about things like being a part of the yearbook, the social media club, the STEM club, student council, the rec room, the garden club, the Hispanic culture club, the NBPS Alliance Club, the NBHS Yoga Club, and many more. Check out that bulletin board. And if you're listening to this and you're a club advisor, get us your information so we can talk about it specifically. Let's go.
Speaking of the month of October, here are some college visits in October. On the 11th, it is Rutgers University. The 12th, Keene University. 17th, Monmouth University. The 18th, New Jersey Institute of Technology. The 19th, Drexel University. And the 28th, Georgian Court University. And now sports.
Good morning, Zebra sports fans. Little tough weekend for the Zebras here. On October 6th, the girls lost to North Plainfield 2-1 in soccer. The homecoming football game did not go as planned as the Zebras were defeated by North Brunswick. And Saturday's girls soccer match was also a tough one as the girls were defeated 8-0. Still waiting on some results from the boys soccer match against Toms River North. Check with Coach Juba. I tried to check with him, but he didn't give me the information I needed. So, I'm sorry. Coming up later today, the girls soccer team is back in action as they host Perth Amboy here at the high school at Memorial Stadium. That match should start at 4 p.m. We'll be back here tomorrow morning with all of your sports results. That's it for sports. Go Zebras!
Go Zebras, indeed.
Well, let me just say, guys, that for people who don't know, we were live in the cafeteria on Friday morning. I had a good time. Julian, what were your thoughts on our live show in front of people?
Honestly, I was a bit nervous.
But you got through it, okay?
Surprisingly, yes.
You didn't get mauled for autographs.
Oh, thank goodness. Because I didn't.
Nobody asked you to throw your shirt at them.
Oh man,
You
that.
didn't have to autograph anybody's body parts. That
Oh,
was
yeah,
good.
Yeah. We get the imagery, Mr. Nessie. We get the imagery.
Although you did take some clothes off for anybody who missed it.
It was just a jacket. It was just a jacket.
You were warm. It was hot in the cafeteria.
Yeah, and you think I just took off my shirt and everything?
Adrian, did you have fun?
I had fun. I had
Nice.
fun.
Well, now that the cat's out of the bag, we will be in the cafeteria every Friday. So make sure you're on the lookout for us. And, that's our Fun Friday. So why not have a little fun amongst the people? And thank you to those who had some kind words for us. All right, gentlemen, it is Maestro Monday, and we are joined by the Honorable Dr. McKay. So, gentlemen, take it away.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
Good morning. I thought honorable was for judges, not scientists, but I'm very happy to be here.
Well, after I got smacked around by weather science earlier in the program, I felt I needed to make up for it.
I needed to back up my man Julian.
I mean, yeah, information is important, Mr. Nessie. The facts are important.
It is. All right, so let's get some information out of Dr. McKay.
So my first question is, what inspired you to do science, specifically biology of all things?
Well, I don't know what initially inspired me because I've loved science since I was a kid. Like, science was my favorite subject in school all the way through. So I always knew I wanted to do something with science, and biology is just the coolest science. I gotta tell you. I've always been a biology major all through college, never changed my major. Went right through, master's, PhD, stuck with the biology all the way. Always loved it. So, I don't know, it was just always part of me.
Adrian?
So my question is, if you could quit your teaching job, right? I mean, not. I'm saying specifically, if you can choose any job in the science industry, what would it be?
I have had other jobs in the science industry, and guess what? I quit those to come here and do this. I love my job, and I wouldn't be anywhere else right now.
So
Take that, Adrian.
So I have done other jobs in science. I was a research scientist in pharmaceutical industry. I
Okay.
was a research scientist with the federal government, and here I am because this is where I have the most fun every day.
Okay.
Dr. McKay, if it wasn't science, what was it going to be for you?
Medicine.
That's still sciencey.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Fancy, but it's different.
technically.
That's
The
true.
life of an MD is a very different thing than the life of a research scientist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just lifestyle choices, I thought that I would enjoy my life more if I weren't constantly on call, stuff like that. So, but it still would have been in the sciences, definitely.
Okay, well, what hobbies do you do outside of school that it doesn't involve science or teaching?
Gardening, martial arts,
Ooh.
although I haven't been back in the dojo in a long time. I'm working on my second degree black belt in Taekwondo. I'm not working as hard as I should be at this point. So that and my obsession with my pets, my dogs, and going around and visiting my kids wherever they happen to be landing in their life. That's my hobbies.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So I have another question. Is what type of research do you do, or like what type of plants do you plant when gardening?
Okay. So, two very different questions. The research part, when I was doing research, it was in the area kind of physiology, which is, workings of the human body, and molecular biology.
Okay.
So, I was looking at how gene transcription regulates responses in the body. So, that's one question. And the gardening, I'm a big fan of planting flowers and things I can eat. But my goal, I've lived in the same house for over 20 years, and over the time I've lived there, I've been gradually transitioning to all perennials, all things that are pollinator friendly, and all things that are native species. So that's kind of what I'm into, is making our environment a little more friendly in my little corner of the world.
Ah, okay.
I love that. Now, as one who, my wife and I, we go more the food route. What have you had success with in your food garden?
It varies from year to year. My radishes were a disaster this year. It got too hot too quick, and that was just, and it's a shame because I love radishes. I'm trying again with a fall crop right now. Tomatoes always work real well. I grow a lot of herbs. I also love to cook, so I like to just walk out to my yard, snip a few fresh herbs, and get going with the cooking. So I have an extensive herb garden.
Okay, I got a question. When is the best time to grow plants? Because me and my dad have a bit of a small garden in our front yard, but we planted them during the summer, which was honestly a bad idea for the both of us because, fall, winter, they exist. Um, so, yeah, we were just wondering when would be a better time for them to grow.
Well, I gotta tell you, this was a rough summer. It was very hot and very dry, so you had to really take care of things if you expected success this summer. Um, you have to choose the right thing to grow at the right time of year. As I said, I failed with my spring crop of radishes. I'm trying to get into the fall crop. There's things that you can plant early, things that, the harvest dates vary. And then, so you can plan things. One of my goals in my yard actually is to have something blooming at all times between March and October.
Ooh.
So you have to kind of plan ahead so that there's always something going on in your yard if you want to do that. There's a lot of planning you can do with gardening, but it really depends on what things you choose to grow.
Or
When's
what
a good
type of
time
plant
to plant
do
them
you-
and grow them. But this summer was rough.
Yeah. I'm surprised that my tomatoes started sprouting a little bit.
Yeah, I just by me, I don't know how it was by you, but yesterday morning I went outside and there was literally ice on my car. Not a little frost, ice. And I'm like, okay, well, as they say, the frost is on the pumpkin, baby. I had to go and I picked all the rest of my tomatoes and they're green. They're mature, but they're green. So I'm going to try to ripen them on the windowsill because it was the end of their season, sadly.
Oh, those Jersey tomatoes.
Yep. I have a lot of green ones right now. Anyone likes fried green tomatoes? Come see me. I got some tomatoes for you to cook.
Dr. McKay, let's turn our attention to what you do here at the high school. So, you just teach biology?
Yeah. I teach different sections of biology. Some are gen ed sections, some are inclusion sections, and I just love it. I came from a school that was solely for students with dyslexia, so one thing that I'm really interested in doing is making complex material accessible for everybody. It doesn't have to be a reading comprehension test every time you try to understand if a kid is understanding a biology concept.
Right. In your class, what are some of the things you do that get your students excited about science and biology?
Well, I'm still trying to figure that out for some of them, I gotta tell you. Different people have
It's the
different
same in
energy-
social studies, don't worry.
Different people have different energy levels and interests. And I understand science isn't everybody's thing, but science affects all our lives. So I try to find things that are directly relevant to them. So I try to find out what they're interested in and show them some link to science that has to do with that. The other thing is that I just really have a passion for science, and sometimes they laugh at me because I get really excited about stuff, but sometimes when they see how excited I am about stuff, I don't know if they get excited too or they just want to humor me because they feel bad because I'm so excited, but either way, I try to just show them how cool I think it is.
So, my final question is, so since you're a biology, right, a biology teacher, I'm kind of into science myself. I'm like a really big fan of biology, so I have this question. Is it possible to, well, let's just say, is it possible to grow something that's not like not a plant? Is it possible to grow something that it's not a plant?
Ever heard of a poppy?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you mean like something agriculture-wise?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
my bad.
we got a whole class of fungi that those aren't really plants. They're their own class of organisms, and we love to munch on some mushrooms. Not everybody likes them, but that's a huge class. And if even if you're talking about things that you could grow that aren't food, you can grow slime molds that you could find in the forest. I'm actually interested in finding some slime molds to get going in the classroom just because they're pretty cool to look at. So I'm going to try to see if I can get some of those in my classroom just to look at because they're fun. Yeah, there's plenty of things you can grow that aren't plants.
Okay.
I guess my final question is, who really inspired you to, I guess, pursue your teaching career or your interest in science?
Well, a lot of both of them. As I said, I've always been inherently curious, and I used to read a lot as a kid because, frankly, I lived out in the middle of nowhere, and I was by myself a lot, so I read a lot. And I was very attracted to the science books, but I had a few amazing science teachers growing up, and they inspired me both ways. They inspired me to pursue science and then realize that, you know what, while I'm in the lab doing all this cool stuff, I really miss interacting with the students because I was a teaching assistant and a teacher when I was a graduate student for undergraduates. And when I went to do research only, I really missed that part of things. And so still to this day, even in my classes, I'll tell people about Mrs. Mish, my chemistry teacher, and Mr. Moriarty, my earth science teacher, and they have some of the hugest influence on my life. So both teaching and science.
Well, Dr. McKay, I would imagine that as your former teachers influenced you, you are also influencing the kids here that you work with. So not everybody is going to get to take you, which is probably unfortunate. So take a minute, and what life's wisdom would you like to drop on the New Brunswick High School student body?
So here's something. When I arrived last year, I started saying this, and I still wholeheartedly believe this. You all have an opportunity right now to get an education that's being paid for by the taxpayers for you. And once education is yours, nobody can ever take it away from you. And so you need to take advantage of this right now. And a lot of kids, they don't really see that opportunity. But it's harder later on when you graduate from public school and then you realize later in life, I could use a little more knowledge than I have because then you got to pay for it. And it gets a lot more real. But in high school, everybody is here because they want to make sure that you get the education you deserve. And you should really try to take advantage of it. That's what I try to tell everybody. Once it's yours, you can't get it taken away from you. When it's in your head, it's yours.
I love it. Dr. McKay, thank you for coming in for Maestro Monday. This was a really great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. I love listening to you guys, so I feel like, ooh, I get to be on the show I listen to.
Yes, we are the perfect accessory to advisory.
Yes. That is true. That is true.
All right. Gentlemen, anything else?
Nope.
No.
All right. We will be back tomorrow morning for Talk About It Tuesday, where Adrian will come up with something to talk about, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. Wave goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Zebra Morning Show.
Do us a favor and tell someone else about us. The word of mouth is the best way to help us grow.
Be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram as Zebra Podcast Net.
Please consider subscribing and following us. The Zebra Morning Show is live streamed each day, and we're available as a podcast. Go to zebrapodcastnetwork.com/subscribe.
If you want to get involved with the Zebra Podcast Network, see Mr. Nessie.
Have a great day, Zebra Nation. See you later, ladies. Bye-bye.